taking him so long? Oh wait, no, him is probably waiting at the last minute to save me. Well, who cares? Let's get over with.
Another mission, the powers and call me away. Another time to carry the colors again. My motivation and no house want to defend. To win the honor of coming back home again. No explanation will matter after we begin. I'm not the dark destroyer that's buried within. My true vocation and now my unfortunate friend. You will discover all while you're unable to win. I'll have you know that I've become.
What's up guys, BKC Review Kids with Kid Shows. And this is it. The final video of the Disney sequel month. Okay, let's get on with it. This is Peter Pan 2, The Return to Neverland.
Taking place a few years after the events of the first film, Wendy's all grown up and has two children. The one believes in Peter Pan, the other does not. And her name is Jane. And no, not Jane from Tarzan. It's a very common name in England. But anyway, yes. Jane heard that the Peter Pan actually existed and must have took over Wendy's dad. But nevertheless, get it? Never, sorry. Anyway, and she was soon kidnapped by Captain Hook, who thought she was Wendy. He wanted to use her as bait to lure Peter Pan into his trap. But of course, Peter saves her and his trap was foiled. Oh, Captain Hook. When will we ever learn? And well, Peter Pan introduced her to a whole new world. Not the Little Mermaid whole new world, but introduced her to Neverland.
And of course, there's gonna be a lot of changes, like instead of a crocodile trying to eat Hook, there's this giant octopus. And of course, the reason why he wants to eat Hook is the same way the crocodile wants to eat Hook. And well, they established that the crocodile was killed off by Hook. A shame. I kind of prefer the crocodile over the octopus. But whatever. Regardless, we have the same classic terrified Hook. Like, who is going loony whenever a sea creature is trying to eat him. Sweet! Sweet! And of course, Hook being Hook, got one thing in mind. To kill Peter Pan! Because that hobby worked so well in the past. Could you take him knitting? I mean, you're a pirate. I mean, you gotta have some other hobby and try to kill Peter Pan. But whatever. They also go on some crazy adventures, and Jane, of course, learns how to be a true lost boy. Or girl. Whatever. Then finally accepting that Peter Pan exists. And well, of course, she made a big oopsie when she thought it was going to make a deal with Captain Hook. Yeah, think about both of that mistake, so not a very smart thing for you to, Jade. Yeah, first rule, never trust a pirate. Unless it's Jack Sparrow. Or that one pirate bird from the My Little Pony movie. Okay, some pirates you can trust, but regardless, pirates like Hook definitely can't trust. Yeah, so scratch yet another sequel. Well, and bottom line, it was still a pretty good movie. It wasn't good, it was bad, it was just alright. Not really much to say. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. The Little Mermaid hitting Ariel's begin. No.
This movie takes place before the events of the first film, so it's a prequel. And well, the best way to describe this is, well, it's Footloose under the sea. That's basically it. Okay, the reason why it's this way because, well, Ariel's dad had banned all music from the kingdom because his wife, Ariel's mother, got killed by a ship crash. And, well, he blamed both the humans and music for what happened, so all music is banned, and, well, mermaids can't go over the sea, so ergo what happened in the first film. Well, of course, if you've seen Footloose, you probably know what's gonna happen. The father and daughter are not gonna get along, like in the first movie, and, well, you probably tell. The king's gonna learn to line up and allow music once again. It's that kind of thing. Really? You couldn't think of anything original to do with this? That's a waste of an opportunity there, people.
Not to mention the villain. This is gonna be the lamest villain I've ever seen that Disney ever made in history. I mean, seriously. She wants Sebastian's job because she's not happy with looking after the king's daughters. Lady, he's a crab! Get over it! Christ's sakes. If Morgan had a better motivation of being a villain, and she was a shred-up rip-off of Ursula! It's like, this is probably the perfect example of a bad prequel. I know I said a lot about these ovals this past month, but that's pretty much the perfect word to describe them. The perfect way of doing a bad sequel. I mean, seriously. I mean, you could easily have this villain of the film be Ursula before she became an evil sea witch. It's like, she could come across a spell and transform into Ursula herself, and well, Ursula is a demeaning name, and therefore that's what we'll be called from now on. This would have been a great origin story for Ursula. But nope. Cliche villain. Bottom line, dumb movie, don't watch it. Okay. Next, Jungle Book 2.
Now this film took place, I assume, a year after the events of the first film. And well, it's gonna be about Mowgli learning to accept his new role in the Man Village rather than the Jungle Village. And well, he soon realized that, well, being a man doesn't mean you can't hang out with your animal friends. So, at the end of the film, spoilers by the way, Mowgli learned that he could have the best of both worlds. Not quoting Hannah Montana. I already have these sequels. I don't want to bring her in too. Ugh. Anyway. Hey, yes. Mowgli pretty much had the same problem that he had in the first film. Not really. It's pretty much being a spoiled brat. But in the end, he learned to accept his new family in the Man Village. And of course, Baloo really wants to hang out with Mowgli. And can't blame the poor guy. No, I like Baloo. He's always been my favorite character. And so is Bagheera. And well, Kaa, and also General Hati, and pretty much majority of the Jungle Book characters. Especially Shere Khan, who's the villain of this film, who vowed vengeance against Mowgli for humiliating him in the first film.
And of course, that vicious tiger is voiced by the late great Tony Jay, so that's always a plus. I say, you see, my cub, you humiliated me, and you see, I just simply can't let you live. Yeah, a very vengeful, villainous tiger. Oh, I love Shere Khan as a villain so much. Anyway, the one gripe I have with this film is of course, the absence of King Louie. I mean, King Louie's not in the movie? Oh, what the heck, man? King Louie was my favorite character in the first film. And they cast him aside? Oh, come on. Where's the Ubadu? I want to be like you. I want to walk like you, talk like you, too. You see, it's true. And if not me, can learn to be like someone like you. Oh, come on. Where's King Louie? I like King Louie. Well, nevertheless, a pretty decent sequel. Okay, next is Tarzan and Jane. One jungle to another.
And here's another one I assume took place a year after the first film. Tarzan and Jane are happily married and living life in the jungle along with Tator, Turk, the professor, and, well, they all have some crazy adventures. There's like vicious leopard people, dinosaurs, wild beasts, that kind of thing, savages, evil polluters and poachers. Oh, Nelly. Tarzan had really got his A game here. And well, much like in some other Disney sequels, this had 3 stories in them. But thankfully, it wasn't played off just for confusion. And well, the animation looks pretty good, and of course, Tarzan and Jane are a pretty great couple here. And of course, they talk about their misadventures they had pretty much ever since they moved to the jungle. And well, yeah, I mean, the show was a huge hit, and the movie was pretty good. And well, I really wish we'd gotten to see more of this. And I mean, this was a pretty well-made movie, and it had a pretty good sequel, unlike Tarzan 2. Oh.
Both this sequel and the show had action, adventure, drama, romance. And it's just like in the first film. And well, also vile villains and crazy mishaps. Whew, this was a pretty good show. And yeah, it's also pretty decent. Alright, scratch 1. Now for one last sequel, and that's Rescuers Down Under. Awesome!
A criminally underrated Disney movie in the Disney Pantheon. This took place before or after Little Mermaid, a film that keeps overlooking by hardcore Disney fans. But we all know this film is spectacular. Heck, some people say it's better than the first one, and I have to agree. I mean, this had better animation, better acting, better everything. And heck, like the stakes are higher, and this time the rescuers are going down under. Good day, mates! And, well, a giant freaking eagle. Do I need to say more?
And well, this movie takes place after the events of the first film. This time, it's a relationship between Bianca and Bernard. And Bernard is considering proposing to Bianca. Well, tries to propose to her, but he keeps getting blocked at every turn. Poor guy. Well, poor mouse. And well, this time there's a boy who's in trouble because he was kidnapped by a poacher who wants to kill the mother eagle and the eggs. And for ching ching, oh boy, this guy is cruel, and he's one of the villains we love to hate. And he's got a giant lizard for a pet, named Joanna. And he's purple sea McCleats. And he's pretty much loving every moment of it. And I think we all know how he went out. Spoiler alert, who done it? He fell off a waterfall in a pretty much epic way possible. Oh, to quote Huey Two epic villain death! Yeah. There's no way he got out of that one alive. I mean, he's dead. Ooh. Nasty way to go out. Bottom line, a fantastic sequel. Better than the first one. And pretty much a good way to end off this Disney sequel month. No other sequel I have to think of at the moment.
Not so fast, Casey. It would appear you're trying to avoid one other sequel.
The heck you talking about, Dark Fan? I am not avoiding another sequel.
Yes, you are. It's none other than Mulan 2.
You disease maniac.
Farewell, friends. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and DeviantArt.